Mace is reached this point where he has this internal clock ticking and he is not at peace with himself anymore. And he's somehow overconscious of his place in the world and how much he depends on this skill set for his living and how much money he's making and how he wants to be that guy. And in a moment of, I would call it a cognitive slip, skips over the number one rule.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and we have the best hunting story ever told today. Well, not exactly. Really, we have the author of a brand new thriller that comes out the day after this episode is released, Pat Kelly, and his novel is called Rifle Season, and it's a thriller based in elk camp. I've read it, and it is amazing. And I want to say thank you to Pat for coming on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I don't want to steal any of the thunder, but please do check out the show links and check out the book. It's really, really, really good. So that being said, guys, let's kick this thing off and let Pat tell you some of his stories. All right, Pat. Welcome to the Hunting Stories podcast, sir. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
I'm super excited to have you here, sir. You are a diamond in the rough as far as I'm concerned. I talk to a lot of hunters, but I've never talked to someone who's written a book quite like the one that you have, sir. And it's a wonderful book, and I'm really excited to talk with you. I have it behind me here. You can see it on my little shelf over there.
Yes.
Yes. But let's do this before I get to, too fanboy and start talking about all that stuff. Why don't you introduce yourself so the people listening today know who they're going to hear some stories from, just a little bit more about you, and of course go into your book a little bit, and then we'll kick it off from there.
Well, my name's Pat Kelly. I went to Centennial Elementary, Grant Junior High, Littleton High School, University, Colorado. So fully educated in Colorado. I did run off to New York after that, and I went to graduate school. It's a complete waste of time and got an MBA. I look back on it, and I see it as not so much ambition as confusion. And I lived in New York for quite a while and dearly loved it. I was like a pilgrim in the promised land, complete Western Texas guy.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it, like a lot of Texans do. You'd be surprised. And then I was working as a writer there. I was making a living as a freelance writer, but I had a deep, abiding desire to try my hand at screenwriting, and I just took the leap, kamikaze style, wrote a script, sent it off, got some interest. They said, come talk to us. Nothing happened, so I went back to New York. I wrote another one, then I got on a plane. I moved to Los Angeles, and I wasn't there a month when that script sold, and I never looked back. And I was busy with that stuff for 21 years and got a few movies with my name on it, and then spent about 10 years as a rewrite guy, fixing scripts that were sort of already in production that were basically thriller stuff, the thriller stuff. And then I retired. Writers never really retire. So but all that time I was... I bought my home in San Miguel County, Colorado, 29 years ago. And it was my first home. When I first started making a living as a screenwriter, my wife and I were not sure we wanted to raise our kid here, who was 2.
Okay.
And so we were having family reunions in Telluride all the time. And lo and behold, one time I stayed late. I have a buddy who's a realtor, and he found me the most perfect place. With a bunch of ground, and I just bought it. Came back to LA. We're living in a dang apartment here with the little kid. My friends are like, are you out of your mind? And I said, no. A beautiful hand-hewn log home on a bunch of ground, 820 miles from where I lived at the time.
Yeah.
And but it has become the central place and blessing for my whole family and all my friends. Everyone shows up at my pad in San Miguel County, whether I'm there or not. And they hunt. We have a ton of trophy elk habitat. So over that 29 years, I had deep immersion in that kind of hunting, and literally off my deck. And I have no doubt when I'm not there, some people that I know are probably shooting elk off my deck. Which I find, So anyway,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's become the lodestone of my family's of life, and that is where we spend 5 or 6 months a year, and
Yeah.
that is the womb of the book. It's literally my backyard.
Yeah.
And for those of you familiar with the Southwest Colorado, the Uncompahgre Plateau is 1.5 million acres of crazy wild place.
It's amazing.
Right out my door.
It's my wife's and mine happy place too. We live on the Front Range up near Boulder, but whenever we can, we get down into the southwest quarter of the state because it is just such a beautiful place.
Well, you're gonna give me a shout when you're headed down because we're gonna head up there this spring and we're gonna be gone. We're gonna stay up there for a while.
Sounds good.
That's a serious invite. Okay.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
And you're a dog person?
I love dogs. My wife's more of a cat lady. Right now, we have kids, so we got a 6-year-old. He turns 7 tomorrow.
Oh my goodness!
A 4-year-old and a 2-month-old. So we're in the thick of it.
Well, you can bring them. My dog is friendly. It's the dog out of the book, basically.
Oh, really?
A female
Vince?
version. A female version. Yep.
What's her name?
Willa.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
That dog is one of the better not one of the better characters, one of the many great characters in the book. But continue.
I know. You know what? I was getting ready to jump on this with you, and I asked my wife to take her in the bedroom, the one bedroom in this apartment, and she wouldn't go. She was sitting there looking at me like this. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So she had to drag her away. She knew something was up. So yeah, so that's me. I still, my son lives right across the channel here in El Segundo, and so my brother's at Dock in Santa Monica. So I have a deep connection to Los Angeles, and a lot of people criticize LA and New York, but I've lived in both. And I don't think you can criticize a place till you've lived there. And there's great things. I'm an ocean guy. I got a boat around the corner here in the marina. Fish Catalina all the time. And so I am into deep sea fishing with my son.
Gotcha.
So
did you ever have the opportunity to go hunt Catalina Island? I've had one person on the podcast who has hunted it, but I know that now you can't do it anymore. And now, don't they just kill all the mule deer with helicopters out there nowadays?
This is a big fight right now, Michael. It's a big fight how to do it because, everyone has, especially non-gun people, non-hunters, they have a hot button about shooting animals that are minding their own business ostensibly on an island. Catalina is such a beautiful place. I was just there on Saturday. When we get up, I'm going to send you some pictures. We were humpback whales all around us and catching fish, and it's quite a place. That thing about how they kill them is just going to be solved, and eventually that is what they'll do. And I hope they shoot straight. That's all. And because they got to do something about it. Same thing, same problem in the Channel Islands.
Yeah. So, there's lots of islands where there are problems like that. The populations overgrow. An example would be Adak Island in Alaska. They filled it up with caribou. And now if there weren't for hunters, everything on that island would die. So they got to do something, but it seems like helicopter shooting is less sporting and less economical, right, than hunters.
Michael, I think it's just the image of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of Vietnam era shooting.
Yeah.
It's like the great line from Dispatches, Michael Harris' book about Vietnam. And he asked this door gunner, he goes, how can you shoot, women and children? And the guy says, you just don't lead them as much. And it's that kind of stuff has seeped into the subconscious. These people, they're trying to do the right thing by the animals in the island out there. But once you bring guns into the equation, there's this just reflexive a thing against it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. So. Absolutely. Well, we went down a rabbit hole, Pat. Let's bring it back a notch. Tell me, I know you're originally from Texas, but you grew up in Colorado. Tell me a little bit about your hunting background. Like, when did you start hunting? And
yeah. Well,
let's go from there.
I was obsessed, and it's a little killer. And I got
every bird and little bug near you is getting shot by the 22, right?
Goodbye to all the rabbits and doves. I got a 410, ancient little 410, Savage. You break the barrel, one shot, hammer back, 410. And now it's one of my son's prized possessions. He's a gun guy,
I bet.
and I don't get to shoot it much. But I got that Christmas when I was 9. People find that a little odd, but I did. People not in Texas, but here. And
Yeah.
I was just, I still remember seeing the gun butt under the tree that morning at my grandparents in Commerce, Texas, North Texas. And I was just like, I don't think I was ever happier. And there was a box of shells. And when it was December, I took the gun. I'd shot some with my dad, other stuff. The gun's too big for me. And he gave me one more little lecture. And I went out back behind their pastures and stuff. And I harvested 3 rabbits on Christmas morning.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, with 3 shots, and I don't think I was ever more proud and happy and full of myself in my entire life.
Yeah.
And we cooked them. We cooked them up that day. I'd never even cleaned a rabbit before, but then I got real used to it. So that was the beginning. It was like I stepped off, and I was, I went into dove hunting, and dove and rabbit was my obsession. And then it's really hard to hit a dove with a 410. So then when I was a little older, my dad got me a 20 gauge pump. That is a perfect dove gun. And that, of course, is also now a possession of my son's, as he keeps track of all these things.
Yeah.
Plus my dad's now 60-something-year-old. I mean, it might even be close to 70-year-old Remington 12 gauge semi-auto.
Yeah.
One of the first ones. My mom got him for his birthday right after they got married. So these ancient guns are all just like artifacts that live at the mountain house, but they all belong to my son, and he takes them around as he sees fit.
Yeah,
so
that's
where I started. And Louisiana was a whole different thing. My dad was in the oil business, chemical engineer. So a typical path, Texas to Lake Charles, and then we just had all that swamp country, and that was just a complete blast. But that was all. Then I graduated to ducks, which I became obsessed with. I love duck hunting. I love the whole ritual of that. I love the weather, hunting in the rain, hunting with dogs, and just that blind, being in a blind. I just love that stuff. Yeah. The rest of the time, I still can hunt. I still hunted everything down there, and I don't want to get. I was a little killer. I didn't really think about it much. And
sounds like every little boy that was gifted their first rifle.
Every little boy. That's why young men make good soldiers. And then we moved. So we did all that. We did that. Louisiana was really fun. Also the fishing. I'm a diehard fisherman. Well, so was my dad. My son's insane. And then Colorado. Marathon Oil happened to have a research center there, and my dad moved us up there. It was a great thing moving to Colorado. We moved to Littleton, and then it began this whole other thing: jackrabbits and mule deer, and doves, and pheasant out east, and that was just. I'd come home from high school, and throw my books down. And my dad died. Just to keep it, my dad died when I was 15. We just moved up there, hadn't been there long, and he passed away. I was 15. I had a 12-year-old brother and an 8-year-old brother, and so I was kind of forced into the front position. And
man of the house.
Man of the house, angry man of the house at first, very, very angry and broken, and then I settled in. I settled into the traces and pulled my weight. But I'd come home from high school. We had sold the house. We moved to another house, same neighborhood. My mom was an English teacher. I'd throw my stuff down, grab my dad's 12 gauge, and just drive straight out and to what's now all houses. There's a couple. In Texas, they call ponds tanks. There are a couple tanks out there that I knew the people. And I would just go out there right after school and just creep into the reeds and wait. And I'd, 9 times out of 10, I'd harvest 2 or 3 ducks, and and then come home, clean them, and cook them. I loved doing the cooking myself. So it was that was my early years, and then it kind of passed out. I eased out of it when I went to Boulder. got infected by all that hippie logic, and
It's enticing. It's
it
enticing.
is. I went to work for the newspaper. I had a great time, and then hunted on occasion. Hunted with, it's funny how the hunting thing. They were always, pretty much always friends of my dad's,
Okay.
who would seek me out and say, "Let's go hunt," like to keep him in the mix.
Yeah.
They were other guys that he worked with. They would find me, and we'd go shoot doves, and we'd go pheasant hunting with those guys, and duck hunting, those things. And that kind of kept that whole thing alive. And then I moved to New York, and that just kind of like, I lived in Manhattan for 16 years, and that just kind of that was the birth of my writer life,
Okay.
and becoming a Giant fan instead of a Bronco fan. I became a total trader, and
No, bad.
no, that's over. That's over.
Okay.
That's over.
Okay, good.
That's over.
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken about Bo Nix. I'm heartbroken. I think it's just
Yeah.
an incredible joke. I don't get it.
It's tough, especially I think he hurt himself kneeling. Like they said, second to the last play of the game, which
Yeah,
was
yeah,
a kneel, which
No,
is
he-
just
yeah.
just crazy.
No,
But
you
we
could
still
see
got-
him in. Yeah.
We still got a chance. We got Jarrett Stidham. I like our odds, but we're not here to talk football. Let's keep going.
No. But I'm a Bronco guy. I do like the Rams, but so New York, this was my fun. This was a fundamental draw to me. When I was in Boulder, I worked for the newspaper, and I met our film critic was a New Yorker, and he said, "Let's just drive." We went out there one spring break, and I just felt like, okay, this is where I want to live, and that's
Okay.
what I did. And then I came here, came to LA, started that screenwriting thing, and that went along, and then but 5 months a year.
Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today. Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
I'm up in the mountains with my buddies,
Okay.
and it's a wonderful. It's two universes. My buddies all hunt. I got bow hunters. I got muzzle loading buddies. I got, of course, a lot of rifle buddies, and I've got a 5-acre gravel pit in my place. It's been reclaimed by the state, the beautiful state of Colorado, my home of homes, and it's all reclaimed, and it's got a slanting berm and weather in, and everybody in my neighborhood. I don't think anybody, you can't own a house, you can't build a house on less than 40 acres where we live there, and lots of people have way more, and everybody sights their weapons in my gravel pit. So you can see sometimes it's, with sidearms and AK-47s, and and everyone's, it's that sort of fun day.
Yeah.
Or mostly it's come August, everyone sights in their rifles.
Okay.
And
I bet your LA neighbors would scoff at the idea of your Colorado neighbors just going onto your property and shooting rifles to sight them in. That's pretty great.
Their initial that is their initial thing is fear, and fear, and then of course if they're out there, we entertain a lot, and then they're just kind of hypnotized.
Yeah.
And they meet the people, they meet my friends, they're not, they're honorable, careful people that are gun owners, just like me. I'm not going to, I mean, my dad beat gun safety into me. I beat it into my son. And then the funny thing is, as we get into this cultural thing, is really the book. The book also, I took a swing at it there a couple times inside the book. And when my kid was younger, and the gravel pit was a big thing, and my son, he just jumps on the guns when he's little. He's a super. I go to the range with him here all the time, and I realize that he's way past me in terms of competence with any kind of firearm. And I'd ask their parents before their boys would just ride out with us, and we'd keep their boys for weeks at a time, his best friends. These are like real West Side Angelinos. And some, more than a few were in the entertainment business like us. And so I would ask them beforehand. I just said, "Listen, I got to ask you something." I said, we do some shooting with firearms up at the house. It's hyper safe, and I just want to know if you're okay with your son being part of that. I asked everyone ahead of time, and I would say 3 out of 4 people said, "No, that'd be great." They go, "You're going to be there, right?" It's not going to be the boys. I said, "Yes, I will be there." They were like, at the time, my son is, he's a crack shot at 10 or 11, certainly out to 12. And they would say, "Actually, are you going to be there?" I go, "No, because I think they're going to rob a gas station, and I just don't want to be there for that." You know what I mean?
Plausible deniability, right?
Yeah, I'm the wheelman. I'm gonna be in the car. No, and then you'd be surprised though. The vast majority of them thought it would be good.
Yeah,
and
no,
it was. It's you have to be careful, Michael. You and I both put where someone's from, what they do. That's their costume. You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
Doesn't necessarily mean what they think. The majority of them were absolutely fine with it. Yeah. And I was flattered because it was more about trusting me.
Yeah. I love it. And you know what, to your point, I live in Boulder, Colorado. When I started this podcast, I knew more vegans than I did hunters. So like people might label me that I wouldn't be a hunter and I wouldn't be a gun or archery or those things because I live in Boulder, to your point.
Yeah, it's Boulder. I've been there fairly recently for a wedding. It's like, God, it's what's the word I'm searching for? It's bougie with the capital
different.
B.
It's different. Even from when I was there. I assume you're maybe 1 or 2 years before me. But yeah, it's changed a lot.
Still pretty though.
It's gorgeous. One nice thing about Boulder is they do have that law where you can't build more, like the city can't expand more than 3% every year, something like that. So you're never going to get any buildings over 4 stories tall, and you're never going to get all that open space filled out.
Because it looked the same to me, largely.
Yeah, driving in, and then you get in there, and a lot of the things that you know and love are kind of gone, except for places like the sink.
The sink, I was just going to say the sink.
Yeah. But so man, you've had quite the journey, Pat. Let me ask you this: Have you your book? Well, actually, let's take one step back. Why don't you explain the book to people? We've talked about it. We've talked about characters in it a little bit already. Why don't you give a quick summary of the story that you've told, and and then I have some more questions I want to ask.
You want me to start with how I came up with it?
Sure.
So my place, San Miguel County, Colorado. My gate's at 9,000 feet. And I have a few hundred acres, not a ranch or anything. It's just a bunch of wild country with about a half mile of stream, and which I compiled over the years. In my more acquisitive years, I just bought out my neighbors. They were leaving, so I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to see any houses, and I'd walk up, come. We have 3 seasons: archery, muzzleloading, rifle. And my place is posted. It's not fenced. It's got split rail in some places, but you could just step over it. It's for the elk to just be able to step over. Yeah. And a big ranch on one side of me, smaller people on the other, but it's very secluded. I walk up the top, come fall, and there's pickups. That I don't know those people. I don't recognize their trucks. You tend to know everybody. It's very underpopulated. And they've all got guns in their windows. They all got their guns racked. and they're stopped right up by my gate, and they're glassing my place. They're just looking right at my place, which drops down into a valley and goes up the other side. And the elk are behind me. I know because I just saw them. And they're driving around just glassing my place. And I go, how you doing? And, they kind of wave and drive off. And then there'll be another group. But I don't know any of them.
Yeah.
So I began to think as a writer, and as I eased out of the other life I had as a writer, gosh, every fall, my neighborhood is invaded by strangers with high-powered rifles. And I don't know any of them. And I thought, it just came to me. I said, what a great venue to settle a score and get away with it.
Yeah.
And that was the whole genesis of it. Walking up to the gate every night, looking around, seeing strangers glass my place under the auspice, these so-called, they're hunting. Then I think, what if they weren't hunting elk? What if they were hunting people?
Yeah.
What if they're here for a purpose? So that was the genesis. I have a couple novels, big novelist buddies who, as I eased out of screenwriting, a lot of guys in my like me tend to do that. I don't know any of them that worked out for some reason. This just worked out for me like a bizarre series of green lights. And but these couple big novels were very helpful with me in losing the language of the screenplay, which is basically dialogue driven, and you show things. And novels you're talking about what people think. They helped me a lot, and they loved the idea that I had. And of course, there's a couple people in the business that said, that's the best movie idea I've ever heard. And I said, no. And it took me three and a half years to figure out how to do it. You throw away twice what you've written, but that's what everyone told me would happen. So basically, the way I built it is this. I know a few of these guys, top guide. They're very unusual. Finally, I run into them in Ouray, up there at the pool. The big steam pool up there in Ouray. I don't know if you've ever been. It's just fabulous.
Love Ouray.
I know these people up
phenomenal.
There. A couple of guides in there. And I thought, okay, so this guide, he's at the top of his game. He's young. He's at the top of his game. It is a younger man's game. I mean, you can't do it when you get way out. Just because the sheer work and the stuff you need with your eyesight and your ears and every other damn thing. And you have this guy at the height of his game. And he's got a dad who beat the rules of the game into him. His dad was a top guide. Mace's dad was a legendary guide. And he bequeathed all this to Mace. And the same way, I bequeathed gun safety. My dad bequeathed it to me, whatever you want to talk about. And Mace is reached this point where he has this internal clock ticking, and he is not at peace with himself anymore. And he's somehow overconscious of his place in the world and how much he depends on this skill set for his living and how much money he's making and how he wants to be that guy. And in a moment of, I would call it a cognitive slip, he skips over the number one rule about knowing everything that is downrange. He tells his client to send it. And that is the end of his life as he knew it. Yeah. Because there was someone else downrange. And this just cuts him off at the knees. He becomes a, alcoholic, pothead. And he's just in a dark place. Plus he gets 300 hours of community service. And but he's still got friends. And one of them is also a legendary guide friend of his dad. And these people approached him get some wildlife pictures. And he thinks this would be a good job for Mace to get back on the horse to do. And he says, you want this job or not? It's $800 for the day. It's good money. You want to do it. And he grudgingly takes it. And of course, this couple from Arizona, realtors, they're not any of that.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I say these things about what's in the book?
It's up to you how much you want to give away. I've read the book already, and I'm loving it. But I want every single one of my listeners to buy this book because I had so much fun reading it. Okay. So it's up to you how detailed you want to be.
Here's the detail. Yeah. These people that show up are not who they pretend to be. Yeah. This is where my original idea kicks in. These people are there to hunt someone. And they actually have heard about Mace. They know who he was, and they know what happened to him. And they particularly target him as someone that they think they can use. And they're right. But, of course, Mace is not someone to be told what to do by anybody. So there is a key, horrible component that I will not, I'll keep it to myself for right now, between you and me. They find a terrible, terrible way to make Mace do their bidding, make him do exactly what they want. Or they will further completely erase his world. Yeah. And so that's the basic setup. And you have fate picks this guy. These people pick this guy, and just by it's almost like chaos theory. It turns out these people who are not who they pretend to be, they have found the most perfect guy on the planet to hunt a hunter. Yeah. And that's what they get, and that's what the whole rest of the book is.
And I'll tell you what, as a Western hunter, as a Colorado hunter, in the middle, like, season just ended. I had a short season because I had a 2-month-old. So I didn't get out there as much as I would have liked. But your book brought me right into the woods, and I was like, this is great. Some of the stuff that you talk about is things that only hunters know. And you got to talk about it in the book because, they're like, are you aware of bullet drop with the altitude and with angles and all these different things? And like the hot shots are like, well, whatever, shut up, guy. But I'm like, no, that's a real thing. And I'm like sitting here yelling at myself, no, you're not listening to no. It was just so much fun to read. And you covered a lot of the details that I think is very specific to hunters. And like, it was just so fun. The characters were great. And I'll tell you this, and this is something that I think is unique to books. When it comes to shows, TV shows, movies, I'm always like, oh, I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And I'm actually pretty good at it, I think. I get it right most of the time. With your book, I was 70% of the way through it, and I was like, I have no idea how this ends well. I have no idea how this ends well. Thank you. And so then the pieces started to fall, and I was like, no way. Yeah, and so, no, Pat, thank you, because that's way more fun than like halfway through a movie being like, this guy is going to marry that girl and then they're all going to run off into the sunset, whatever. Like, then I get my phone out. But with this, I was legitimately just surprised the whole way through.
You're just like me. I'm always, if I stream anything with my wife, she's just like, I'm always going, that guy's going to die. They're going to have sex. This is this. Yep. And she goes, shut up.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, he did it. And it's like, no, he didn't. And at the end of the movie, I'm like, told you so. Told you.
No. Then she just gets up and leaves. No, thank you. It was, I wish you could describe it. It's like if you grind on something hard enough, you step back, you grind, you step back, you look and you keep sinking. You see all these little opportunities to put in these frills of suspense. In the screenwriting, that is so much more skeletal and supervised. The book thing is all on you. What do you think, and what do you think they're thinking, and then never losing track of you, the reader, to trick them, Yeah. And it was when it was done, it was done. The dog, I used all the things, it's just me. It's my home. It's my friends. Yeah. I have all these, I have, we have a gentle relationship up there with people. A lot of young guys. My son's about 31. He's going to be 32 this year. And, I have bow hunting friends his age, younger, and, all kinds of people that are up there. And I just sit with them and bullshit endlessly with them. Yeah. All the guys that do my tree work, the arborists, they're all young guys cutting down huge trees. And there's always just a big old can of beer, big old bucket of beers, and we sit around. And these guys, when they're talking to me, their eyes are straight over there on the elk right across the way. And there's some stuff over there that my son has put over there, like this rock or that rock, a certain white rock. That's 370 yards on the nose, and that's 400 yards on the nose. And they're just looking over there. And it's just fun to be with these young guys that are still so hot for it, And that's, and I actually acknowledged all those guys in the book, in the back. for helping me, because they do it so much more than me. You want to hear a couple hunting stories?
You know, I want to hear a couple hunting stories.
I'm going to tell you one before I forget, because I was thinking of my favorite one. I left out a species. I was a huge goose guy.
Let me say one thing, Pat, before you jump into that. And I want to say, I wish I had gotten this book maybe like 3 months earlier, because I probably would have named my son Mace. Like, that's how much I enjoyed it. So I just want to say thank you. Yeah, I really enjoyed the character. I was like, that's a great name. My wife and I were struggling to find names. We ended up naming my son Hendrix, which we're very happy with.
That's a great
But
name.
I'm reading this book, and I'm like, man, Mason, yeah. If I'd even thought of that 3 months ago, this little guy right next to me would be named Mason right now. So
how old is he now?
2 months, 9 weeks.
Well, he'll never know.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
On December 12th, Disney Plus invites you to go behind the scenes with Taylor Swift in an exclusive 6-episode docuseries.
I wanted to give something to the fans that they didn't expect.
The only thing left is to close the book.
The end of an era. And don't miss Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show, featuring for the first time the Tortured Poets Department. Streaming December 12th, only on Disney Plus.
You can still change it, man.
Nice try. I can't. You convince my wife, okay? That's your battle, not mine.
My son's name. We had horrible fights over my son's name, but mainly because my wife's ideas were horrible, and so anyway, we're having this fight, and I'm looking at a pile of books in where we used to live, and Walker Percy is a great novelist, way before your time, but he wrote The Moviegoer. He wrote some pretty seminal novels that I looked at way back when. And my name fell across his name, and I said, how about Walker? And that's my son's name, Walker Kelly.
That's great. Walker was one of the ones I named off. I ended up kind of letting my wife have the first name, and I was like, you just give me the second one. So my son's middle name is Torben, which is like Danish Viking for, it basically means Thor, Bjorn. Thor, Bear, Thunder Bear. So I was like, I'm naming my little boy Thunder Bear.
You look like a Viking.
We should have seen me when I had long hair. I was asked, in my life, I've been asked 3 times to be in a metal Viking music video. 3 different times. So
that's 3 times more than me.
Yeah.
I'm asked to play a bitter old Irish guy, and I can do that in my sleep.
I can see it. I see it.
Yeah, no, I just think I go to the audition, and they go, "You don't have to say anything. You're it. No, that's the guy right there."
They're like, "Can you do an accent?"
Yeah. Can you do anything not bitter?
Back to the goose story. Sorry, I just had to throw that out there again. The book is wonderful.
We come home. I'm home from. I think I was home from CU, and we lived in this area called Beaumar South, and very other end of Littleton, and a couple lakes, and the geese were everywhere. You can't shoot the geese on the lakes because there's houses around the lakes, but the geese were everywhere, and it's driving me mad. So I'd go out to these same places I hunted ducks, and they were just going over. I was with a buddy. And another hunting buddy, and they're just too high. They're going over too high. My dad's 12 gauge, 3-inch number 4 shot, and they were just too high. I could tell, but they were going straight over where we were by these ponds, and so I look around, and there's this really squat, low cottonwood tree, and I unload my gun. And the leaves are pretty bare, and I climb this tree, And it was huge. You know those old tree lines on those old places were really old farms and ranches. One of those lines of really
Absolutely.
old trees. Yep. So I get up on a bit of barbed wire. I get up on a big enough limb, and I get up and I go up like 50 feet. I don't have a sling. I unloaded the gun and jam shells in my pockets. I climb up into this tree, and I've got an opening into the thing here, and I wait, and and here they come, and I fire I fired 3 shells, and I'm trying to intersect them like an anti-aircraft gun, like this.
Yeah.
And I went, shit, nothing happened. And then I hear my buddy go, oh! And he describes he's under the tree watching me, thinking this is the most dangerous, stupid thing he's ever seen. And out of the corner of his eye, something just drops in that field, straight down. And I got one.
No way.
One of them peeled off and dropped not 100 feet from my buddy. And he just angled off and went straight. He went straight in the ground like shooting down a bomber, in the Battle of Britain. And we just lost our minds.
I bet I would have bet 100 times, 99 out of 100 times that's not working. But you managed to hit that one time, climbing up that tree and just hoping something comes through that opening for you. That's amazing.
I'll never forget it. I mean, we got other geese the regular way, but that ended everything. We didn't, and we just went straight home and cleaned it and put it in the oven and surrounded it with potatoes and cooked the whole thing right that night. Yeah. And it was that was the. Then I'll tell you one more hunting with my buddies on my place, and a good friend of mine who's still up there. It's a snowy, wet day in October, and he slips and he falls. With his rifle, hits the ground hard, and I'm not carrying a weapon. I'm just with him, and I have my other German Shepherd with us at the time. And he gets up, okay, clean up the gun, and there's elk right over there still. And he has a pretty good shot. It's not that far, 400 yards or something. And he starts, he shoots. He misses. He shoots. He misses. He shoots a third time. He misses, and the elk don't seem. They're like trying to figure out what's going on because it's a narrow canyon. They don't just stampede in one direction, but they're starting to go. And he had knocked his scope off kilter. Mm-hmm. Not one of those shots was hitting where he was aiming. He shot one or two more times, aiming to one side or the other, and he got his elk. But it just goes to show you, and that takes me to one more story, that one of the very few fatal hunting accidents in Colorado history was down by us, and it was a guy doing the exact same thing. And the hunter was
that recently, or are you talking about? Okay, I think 3 years ago, a muzzleloader hunter got shot by a rifle hunter, or maybe archery hunter got shot by a muzzleloader hunter.
Archery guy down by Durango, I think.
Yep.
And because he was calling him in. Yep. It was really, it really was not dissimilar to my. Of course, I wrote the book way before that, but still having calling someone in. Anyway, this guy was an LAPD guy, and he was the hunter. And he was with a really well-known guide out of Ouray. And maybe not Ouray, but a Western Slope guy. And he, on the same kind of day, and he slipped. And this cop had a round chambered, and he killed that guide.
Oof.
Who was walking right in front of him.
Gosh.
So these things do happen, but they're super rare. They're really quite rare. You know,
they are very rare, but they cause a ruckus when they do happen. I'll tell you that. Like that more recent one where the archery hunter got shot by the muzzleloader hunter. It's like the third time in the history of Colorado that's happened. And man, they were trying to change everything. Like all.
What did they? Oh.
Well, I mean, a lot of archery guys were saying, let's get the muzzleloader hunters out of archery season. That doesn't make any sense, which as an archery hunter, and I started hunting muzzleloader, I see the reason maybe not to overlap those things, right? But then other people were like, hunters should just be, the people that are anti-gun are like, get rid of all hunting. It just started a tidal wave of different people's opinions on what should change.
Well, that is, of course, part and parcel of the book. Who in the world during rifle season would be out among elk in full camo.
Yeah.
And wearing zero of the orange, anything. That's sort of one of the key premises of the book, as I thought who would do that? That would be, first of all, someone, an archery guy. And he said, and why would he be doing that out of season? Because there was something, he was a little bent. The whole thing is the chaos theory of two guys in weird mental places, Mace and that bow hunter, and that's what happened.
Yeah, right at the beginning.
Yeah.
When that happened, I was like, why wasn't the bow hunter wearing orange like he has to for rifle season? So, but yeah, that was man. I don't want to give too much away from your book. Either way, I also love how you talked about anti-hunters a little bit. One of the real estate agents, she's constantly going stupid hunters, in more words than the way I'm putting it. But I think you do a really good job of covering kind of all of the aspects in the 300 pages that you had there.
Yeah, I wanted someone with that voice.
Yeah,
because it's valid, except I really made her hardcore.
Yeah.
In fact, she likes to hunt people that hunt.
Yeah,
and
just
I think
not animals.
And it's just it's a great character in that she never edges off that, and the personal animosity that she has for Mace, how that's going to end. It's going to be one or the other of them, and I laid that in, and that was really fun. That was really fun, and some of my buddies are going. My hunting buddies up there, I go, the anti-hunting angle didn't bother you? And they go, what anti-hunting angle? And I go, is English your native language? Okay. All right.
I mean, it was brief. I definitely caught it, and I wanted to try to explain to her, like all that. But like when it happened in the book, I was like, no, but it's okay. I can't talk to her. She's on the page. But yeah, it's great. Let me ask, I know you're working on the second one. How many of these are you planning on making, and how long is Mace's story?
Oh, I don't know, 20 books. No, I'll be Michael. I'll be in assisted living. You know what? It's I'll be done probably in the next month with the second one, and of course, I sort of fantasized about it being a series when I wrote it. Because really, anti-hunting is a thread. The basic thing is about revenge, and about how revenge, in theory, is infinite. Until you're down to one sentient human being on the planet, you're going to have the potential for revenge.
Yeah,
and it drives a lot. I mean, you can just read the paper every day, and past grievances and this and that. So. There's a passing reference to the main target in the book's children. And there's a passing reference to their predilection for horrible things.
Okay.
So
I was going to ask. I was actually going to wait until afterwards to ask specifically about that. But okay, keep going.
Well, we can talk afterwards, but because I'm nearly done. And I think the revenge thing, and people from other countries, people really unlikable foreigners. So I'm going to be very woke here. Really unlikable, dangerous, armed foreigners. The second book is a little more focused on, basically whoever doesn't die in the first one gets to play in the second one, and it occurs. It never really leaves the plateau. The second book, it's exactly the same thing, because those people show up to avenge what happened in the first book.
Yeah. And
they are a different stripe of monster, but they are monsters in their own right.
Yeah.
Of course, they're much younger, and they bring firepower.
Okay.
And it's basically, they're going to be after Mace and Jamie. They want to get to the bottom of what happened.
Yeah.
Zim is, back in Bosnia. He's gone. He's back there. That's all I'll say about him, but that's not the end of him. And the second one focuses on community in a way.
Yeah.
in a very violent way. So and it
let's
involves.
not dive too deep into the second one, because correct me if I'm wrong, the first one is released on the 27th of January. So is that right? Okay, so this episode's coming out on the 26th. So everybody listening, tomorrow you can get your copy. I'll try and is it already on Amazon? Can you pre-order it?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll put a pre-order link on there, or you guys can wait till the 27th. But they don't need to worry about book 2 until they've fallen in love with book 1. Is my opinion, Pat.
No. But book 2 is a continuation. It's a continuation. Everybody doesn't die in the first one, gets to play in the second one. Pretty simple rule, and it's in the exact same place. And there's a few new characters. But but what else? You have the good questions. Hit me with the good questions.
Well, I don't know if I have any more questions for you right now. What I will say is that, like, it's just as an elk hunter, having a book that is set in the location of one of my favorite places, which is that, like, the Rockies in the mountains. Like, I've been to Montrose, I've been to Ouray, I've been to Telluride, I've been all over that place, and the only critique I'll have is that when you were driving from one place to another, it seems so quick, and I know those drives are longer than it seemed in the book. But man, it's just really cool to have something that, like, in this exciting story in the place that I love and like I think about all the time, and then you put this exciting story on top of it. So it was a very fun read, and it was a very easy read. So thank you.
My friends in Montrose go, City Market's in the book. It is City Market. There's actually a couple of scenes in City Market. I love that place. I am such a Montrose guy. It's 49 miles from my house, and I think of any damn excuse in the world. I'm going down to Montrose, and
there you go.
I go to the gym. I go to the grocery store, and I have friends down there. Go get dinner. I don't know. Montrose is the perfect place to live, and I can't rule out me living there in the future.
Yeah, it's pretty great. My wife and I talk about moving out into the boonies, and Western Slope is definitely on the list. We have some friends that already live in Telluride, so yeah, like I said, it's our happy place. We've been to the Bluegrass Festival out there a handful of times. I don't know if you've ever been. It's wonderful, but
no, gosh, I've been there. I just, you know what, I don't go into Telluride much. I've become Mesa guy.
Yeah,
and I enjoy Ridgeway, Montrose, and I like Grand Junction. I got friends in Grand Junction, but Montrose I have my eye on as I don't know.
Absolutely.
Well, but no, Pat, there will be maybe. I know they want a third book. They would love a third book, and I don't see why that wouldn't happen. So
okay, perfect. Well, good luck finishing the second one and starting the third one. Why don't we do this? I don't know if you want the people to find you or if you just want them to find the book, but why don't you tell the folks, what they're looking for, and we'll, walk off into the sunset here.
What they're looking for?
Yeah, like if they're looking for you, do you have any social media channels that you'd like to share? If not,
I don't.
Just the book, website, wherever people might be able to find more information about kind of your work.
I don't have for those of you that are watching me, I'm a primitive. I guess I'm a bit of a throwback novelist. I like my word to speak for me. And Simon & Schuster has been so nice to me, gracious, patient. I have to say, I was terrified of the editorial process. These Simon & Schuster changed virtually nothing in my book.
Yeah.
So I feel deeply flattered and lucky to be with them. And they have mentioned, do you want to have a digital presence? And I just kind of would rather do the work and hope people read my book and enjoy it and look for the next one.
Yeah. Well, I will do everything I can to help that. Like I said, it's a wonderful work, and I've really enjoyed it. And I can't wait for the next one. One final question, and then I'll send you off, Pat. I've heard whispers from someone who actually helped me get connected with you that are there already TV rights and movie rights for this thing?
Yeah, no, it's been sold.
Okay.
20th Century Fox TV, and they've optioned the book. There was a lot of interest, and these guys were the most passionate.
Yeah.
And also, as a streaming show, I think there's just more room to run, and I will be part of it.
Perfect. If you need any extras, hit me up. I will drive to the Western Slope immediately.
No, you and I are going to do the thing. You and I are going to do. It's going to be the Viking, and the Irish bum in a bar
There we
in
go.
Montrose.
Yeah,
And,
a Viking and an Irishman walk into a bar.
In Montrose, Colorado.
All right, Pat. Well, man, this was a ton of fun. Thank you so much. We'll stay in touch.
Listen, you know where to find me. You got my email. Let me know when you're going to be down there. We'll be up there probably by no later than June, May or June, up there.
Okay.
And I am giving you and bequeathing you Mace. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Pat. Again, thank you for your time, and for you listeners, get out there and get your copy of Rifle Season. Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, guys, that's it. Another couple stories in the books. I want to thank Pat for coming on the podcast. I really, 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 really encourage you guys to check out the show notes, check the link, buy the book, and read it. I did not see anything coming when I was reading it. It's a great book. It's based at elk camp. It made me miss being in the elk woods. It's phenomenal. Can't recommend it enough. I'm going to be at the book release. If you're in Denver on the 27th, I'll be there. Come say hi. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Buy the book. Give us a like. Give us a follow. Subscribe. All that stuff. But most importantly, get out there and make some stories of your own. Thank you.